Good day, students. This is just a quick overview of the Archicad model that was produced that you can all go and reference and look at for Kaap. Okay, so this is a very basic model. It's slightly different to the Revit model, but I just want to give you a quick overview of this model. So basically you can open it up. The most important thing to understand about working in Revit and Archicad is to set your stories up correctly. Okay, so if we go to options, documents, I just want to show you the story settings. Yeah, design, story settings. Okay, this is the most important thing to get right, is to get your levels correct. Be careful not to add too many levels because the project does get very difficult to work with, but we're going to have maybe a foundation, a basement, a ground and first. Okay, so basically the levels drive everything in your projects. All of these elements that we use in Archicad, like the walls, you'll see that they're always referencing a level. Okay, so they always need a level. They link to levels. You can go and specify not linked, and then you can give them a height. Just as you change these things, this dialog box will change. Okay, so that's very important. So your levels will drive your floor slabs, your walls, your roofs. Okay, so the most important thing to do is get your levels set up. Okay, I'm just going to jump through some of the sections as well that are pre-built in the model just to give you an overview. And you can see Archicad gives us a lot of information to work with. We'll then spend a bit more time to go and document and annotate. So remember, all of these documentation tools, you draft over this. So for example, the foundations and how all that works, this is slightly different to Revit in the sense that the way you cut into your floor slab works slightly differently. You're using these tools over here to cut your elements into the... Okay, but you can see Archicad gives us enough information to work with to produce a set of technical documentation. You'll notice that your levels are always visible in your sections and elevations depending on what you want to see, and this will change once you put these on a sheet as well. So just remember, this information will change once you put it on the sheet. We haven't added any elevations at the moment, we've just got some sections, but those are very easy to go and add. Okay, alright, so this is your model in a nutshell with different views through the project, just to kind of give you an overview. So when we're cutting through different elements, we've got a basement cutting in, where we've got... Okay, so you can see we're looking at the facades, we're looking at some of this roof detail. Okay, so Archicad gives us quite a bit of information. I just need to go to view and switch on my on-screen line weight so we can see that as well, true line weights. Okay, you can see it gives us a lot of information on these different elements, provided that you're using your layer combinations correctly and your pen sets correctly, you can get some really good information from it. But remember, there's a limit to how much we can model, because to model something like this in Archicad does take a lot of time. I'm just going to switch on all my cuts. Remember, you can use these cut views to cut your model up. To go and model this in a lot of detail does take a lot of time. So there are some things that you'll model, and there are some things that you're just going to have to commit to drafting. So like the kitchen, all the cabinets. To model all of that information, it does get very complicated. Okay, but you can see that Archicad does give you quite a lot of information. So for those of you using Archicad, download this model, go and explore it. You can use all of the elements in this model to populate your own models. Okay, but it does give you enough to work from. Okay, you got different, you can use different 3D views. So you can see you can jump between axometry and perspective views. Okay, so that's quite handy. These cut planes you can move at any point, so if you grab them you can move them. Okay, you can set up multiple cut planes, and if you want to switch them on and off, you can use this tool over here. But the most crucial thing to understand is that your levels drive the whole project. Your levels are very critical to make this project feasible. Okay. In addition to that, we'll have all our different floor plans. So we'll have our basement floor plan. Okay, once again, we can use these sections, but in essence, Archicad is quite good at showing you what you need to do, and once you put this on your sheet, you can crop away the information that's not relevant. Okay, so ground floor, okay, you can see jumping between. So Archicad does give us a lot of information to work with. Alright, this is only got, you do have a roof plan if you want to have a look at the roof plan and look down. Okay, so you're using a roof plan to look down at the whole roof plan as well. Okay, so that's quite handy. Ground floor, basement. Okay, and this is all driven by your levels, by the way. If you go to settings, you'll notice that this is always referencing these levels. Okay, so once again, I can't stress this enough, levels drive the whole project. Okay, so in a nutshell, if we go back to our sections, if you click on section AA, you can also go to section. So, so we want to go to section AA. So remember, once you've got your section established, you're going to use the drafting tools to add the additional information. You don't want to be modeling all of this information. It's going to take too long to model this information. Okay. So the outcomes for your project, just try and deliver those first, and then you draft what you need to do. You can see that Archicad and Revit have the same thing where they try and join elements. It doesn't quite work. So you sometimes have to go and draft these elements to make it look correct. So you draft over this. Okay. I've got some nice videos that I'm going to share with you to explain how to use the drafting tools a bit more, and I'll share those videos with you later in the week. Okay, but in a nutshell, what we are trying to simulate or trying to emulate is these details you've been given. Please note that for construction you'll be given some other details, so please stick to what you've learned for construction, but in essence you're going to be adding this level of detail to your projects in certain circumstances. Okay. So please use this document to help you add information to your model. So for example, I'm not going to model all this information, the ground structural beam and the binding layer. I'm not going to go and model all that information in Archicad because it's unnecessary, because I can simply go and draft all of that and using these fill tools and using the right layer combinations. We've been doing this exercise to draft, so don't waste your time drafting unnecessary information. But you can see that Archicad does give us quite a bit of information to start the process with. Okay, so that's very important. Okay, so that's what I do like about, I was going to show, I don't need to show that in these views. Okay, so I'm just going to switch that off for now because I don't need to see the cut planes. So you can see Archicad does give us enough information. It gives us enough information if we're going to use cut sections and that to work from, but then we're going to draft the rest of the information. So if you can't find a window detail, you draft it in. Use masking regions and you draft. Okay, so it's just understanding what you model and what you don't model. So I hope this video does help. Once again, just remember to put a model together like this does take a lot of time. Okay. I might just get the core information together and then draft over the core information, because you just have to deliver a couple of sheets. You don't have to produce a whole model. And you see, putting in ceilings and all of this information does take a bit of time. Okay, sometimes it's quicker just to draft. So you can all access this model. I just want to show you where this model is accessible. So if you go to Microsoft Teams, you can simply go and download this from Microsoft Teams and explore this model, and you can take information from this model. Okay, so it's handy to use these models as a reference. Sorry, Teams has been a bit slow, so you go to OKU 200, support channel, BIM library, and you simply navigate to Archicad. So I have noticed that this is very slow at the moment. Sometimes it's just quicker to use the Teams app, I've noticed. I have noticed that this is slow. Let's just go back to notes, go to BIM library again. Okay, there we go. So in Archicad, you're going to go to projects and it'll be the Kaap. Okay, so this is the the plan that you can go and access. Kaap plan, that's just a backup. This is the model that you need to go and access. Okay, so download it, you can access, take the information that you need. All right. Okay, all the best of luck, and I'll see you all in studio.